lot for a closer. 10. That's you're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him. They're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in.
Right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquil Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 officially underway right here on the Early Line on a Football Friday. No better place to be. We keep you in the loop on everything. This show, Joe, it's viral. Why? Because we're live and live things are going on. What do you mean, Donnie? It's 7, 8, 9 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, but we got the Ryder Cup going on right now. We're talking about college football tonight, Major League Baseball today, NCAA football Saturday, which has a couple monster games we're going to hit here in hour number 2, and also getting you right for that Sunday football card, which includes, Joe, an early game overseas at 9:30 a.m. We never stop informing the people to make sure they have all the educated guesses they need to make money this weekend. How about that?
Yes, I am looking very forward here, Donnie, to this. Not only today and tonight, of course, with the Ryder Cup underway here, and then college football, but what a slate tomorrow and Sunday here, week 4 of the NFL. And don't forget, final weekend, right? Major League Baseball, still a lot to be determined here.
There is a lot to be determined. Major League Baseball have playoffs next week. You believe that? How many times? March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We're finally at the playoffs here for baseball. But also, quick update from the Ryder Cup. We have Hatton and Rahm, Thomas and DeChambeau. One up here for Thomas and DeChambeau. All square in the match between Fitzpatrick, Aberg versus Henley and Scheffler. And then one up, Rory and Tommy Fleetwood over Harris English and Colin Morikawa. When those odds change here or anything goes happening out there in Bethpage, we got you covered here. But it's now time for the early lineup, Joe, once again, which includes last night's Thursday night football game, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, 23-20 final. The Seahawks improved to 3-1 and 2-0 in the division.
Yeah, no, it was, listen, for 3/4 of this game, I think with about 6 minutes left to go, Seattle was up 20-6. And the problem was Seattle played not to lose and ultimately opened the door for the Cardinals here, made a couple of nice plays to tie this game up after the Seahawks missed that 53-yarder, Donnie, by Myers, only, to get the ball back with under 30 seconds left to go because the Arizona kicker basically kicked the ball out of bounds and gave the Seahawks the ball at the 40-yard line. They needed 3 plays to get back into field goal range, and Myers didn't miss the second one.
If he's cleared, he's playing. Who we talking about? Not Joe Ranieri, Donnie Rightside. We're always cleared to be in front of you on this television here. It's Justin Fields, though. Justin Fields coming back from a concussion, and I don't know if they want him to sit out another couple weeks here because he didn't look good in his last start here, but taking on the Miami Dolphins for a chance at a victory, he's chomping at the bit to get back on the field.
I mean, I don't think there's probably no better team that you want to go up against to try and get a win than the Dolphins currently with that defense, who's a hot mess here. But what a Monday night game they gave us. Quite honestly, I kind of hope he doesn't play because I believe Tyrod Taylor is the much better option to be able to push the ball down the field, throwing it like we saw him just do against Tampa here. I think just gives him a better option to win without Fields on the, under center right now.
Better options to win. That's what we need for the Tigers. Now sit in a dead heat with the Cleveland Guardians to win that Central Division in the American League. First inning, get a Jermichael Jones home run to lead off the game. That had to feel good. Then Winfield Perez also knocked in a solo blast, followed by Javi Perez driving in a run in the second inning. And then Riley Green hit one 411 feet in the fourth inning. Woo! The Detroit Tigers pick up a victory, a much-needed one.
Yeah, I mean, they have a pulse. Congratulations. But you know what else they don't have? They don't have the tiebreaker now because the Guardians do. Since they owned you down the stretch, they won the season series. And guess what? That's the biggest tiebreaker. So technically, even though you have the same record, Guardians are in first place here. So a lot of baseball, like we said, still to be played here for the Tigers.
Beer, champagne, cigars, new T-shirts. That's exactly what you get when you win your division, which the Dodgers did yesterday with an 8-0 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks in a game that saw Shohei Ohtani blast yet another home run here in his MVP 2025 season. Ready-made for the playoffs and the third seed. That's your Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, you gotta love it, right? 12th time in what, 13 seasons now? They have clinched this here, Donnie. I mean, that's pure domination in a whole lot of levels. And listen, were they pushed here this year? Yeah, they were. The Padres had opportunities, Arizona had opportunities, but ultimately the Dodgers right where they want to be to defend and possibly go back-to-back as World Series champions.
LeBron James was not extended here by the Los Angeles Lakers, but you have to feel bad. He only had to pick up his $52.6 million player option for the 2025-26 season. We don't know where LeBron is going to be or how much longer he's going to play, so we'll ask this question every single day until LeBron James does retire. Hey, LeBron, what's your future, huh?
Yeah, whatever he wants it to be here, Donnie. I mean, basically, the Lakers are giving him $50 million to decide, hey, listen, we're going to give you $50 million. You figure it out. Let us know what you want to do, and all will be well. He's going to just squeeze every last dollar out of the Lakers that he can, and I don't blame him.
Jared McCain had a pretty good start to his rookie year, averaging 15.3 points per game. Then he got injured. All right, we'll be back next year. The season is a loss anyway for the Sixers, and away you go. Hey, let's take some pictures, put on some new uniforms, get a workout in. Jared McCain, UCL tear in his thumb, will miss a few weeks here and possibly the start of the NBA regular season. The Sixers, I don't know what they drink here, but they can't stay healthy.
Listen, the entire goal of the 76ers in the offseason, Donnie, was just to get the training camp and the preseason with everybody healthy. And, obviously, Embiid, Paul George, but just get your guys in there ready to go 100% healthy, and they can't do that.
Can't do it here. And by the way, do you see the pictures? Joel Embiid looking nice and slim. What's the odds here that he plays 70 out of the 80-plus games here in the NBA? Probably slim to none. But as I like to say, Joe, when you're injured to start the season, it's very rare a team gets healthier through attrition through the regular season. We'll see how that plays out. But the Ryder Cup, Bethpage Black, just outside of New York City on Long Island over here. It's rocking and rolling early on. 3 days of golf to determine who's the better continent. And today, Joe, as we updated the people, I don't have anything from the first three, still sitting the same, but it looks like now we have an all-square in progress between McIntyre Hovland and Cantlay Schauffele. Day number one of the Ryder Cup, rocking out there already, as I see.
Yep, Xander has a birdie opportunity here to win the first hole, and he lipped it out. So Xander and his buddy Patrick Cantlay are that fourth and final group in the four-ball here. So, but right now, Aberg and Fitzpatrick handling Scheffler and Henley all squared through three there. So it's Bryson and JT, the only ones that are in the lead for the Americans right now.
Love to see it here. We'll see that drama play out. And as we know, like Team USA is usually better individually on Sundays. You just want to keep it close till you get that one-on-one. But hey, if Team USA can come away with a victory on day number one, that would be massive. And those odds are certainly going to shift at that point here. Talking about odds looking to shift here, Joe, there is 3 games left in the season. A lot to be determined. Did you know Cal Raleigh yesterday was high as a minus 250 price point to win the AL MVP? Today, he's back down to minus 190. Let me ask you this question. What is it going to take for Aaron Judge and or Cal Raleigh to win this MVP, and can they clinch it with a heroic performance over the next 3 days?
Well, I think it can be at that price, Donnie. I think this final weekend of the regular season, the problem is here, I think, well, the good news is both teams still have something to play for. So it's not like we got to worry about them just packing it in and waiting for the postseason here. I think, buckle up. It could be a whole lot of fun here over the next 3 days.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It really is. And also exciting times here next week because Major League Baseball, we're going to get day baseball for playoffs. We're going to be previewing it every step of the way right here on the early line. My Philadelphia Phillies, Joe, we get to sit back in the cut. Yeah, we'll play Friday. Yeah, we'll play Saturday. Yeah, we'll play this Sunday. But then we don't play again until next Saturday. Come on back, Trey Turner. Get that hamstring going, baby.
It was all about, Donnie, get healthy and it's a very experienced team, that Philly squad there. Just get all your guys back for a postseason run. You'll be fine as long as you don't have to play the Mets.
That's what we need. But you know what we need next? Coach Terry Bowden joins us here. What a weekend in college football. He's a big game coach. We got big games coming up. Coach Terry Bowden's next. Don't you miss it.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. You're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where like Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in.
Right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's put up a shut-up time for some of these teams that have scheduled nothing but cupcakes, Donnie, to start the season without truly being tested. Are you, right, Miami, they've played ranked teams over and over and over and just beat Florida as well. So, some of these teams like Penn State, what are we going to get from them?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, we're going to talk some college football. You know we do that here on the Early Line on a Football Friday because this weekend's games, finally it feels like. It's been a couple weeks. We need multiple unbelievable banger games, and we are going to get that. But, Joe, sometimes topics come up and we say to ourselves, like, oh, hold on now. Are we getting subterfuge here? Are we getting, players and daughters and coaches intertwined at the wrong time? How about this week from BR Betting? Lane Kiffin's daughter hard launched her new boyfriend today who plays for LSU. That's Whit Weeks, star linebacker for LSU, dating Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry Kiffin. Are we exchanging information here? Are we stealing signs? Are we going deep as like a CIA spy to get the information we need to know? And will this come up with an Ole Miss victory? Come on, Dad's got to be upset about this, no?
No, I guarantee you, Dad already knows the entire defensive game plan of LSU here. I can assure you of that, Donnie. There is a mole in the house here, and yes, if anybody's going to benefit from that relationship, I think it's going to be Dad there and Ole Miss. So let's see how that rolls.
Now, honestly, I don't know how this works, though. Does the daughter, Landry Kiffin, go to LSU, or does she go to Ole Miss? Because I'm pretty sure, look, he can afford to send her wherever he wants, but you probably get free tuition if she goes to Ole Miss. And if she does, how do you date an LSU linebacker if you go to Ole Miss at the Grove? And how do you get down to LSU? How does that work? Long-distance relationships, I'm told, don't work. Yeah, she goes, look, we just got confirmed she goes to Ole Miss. How's this possible? How'd they even meet?
That's why they're spies, Donnie, in the world, right? How is that possible? I'm just saying it makes all the sense in the world. Anybody that's known Lane Kiffin over the years, this should anything for an edge, my friend. And yeah, wouldn't you know, it just happened to be dating an LSU linebacker.
I mean, you can't make this up, and it's fantastic. And also, this wasn't like, hey, we met 8 months ago. We've been dating for 8 months, and you've known about it. This is like, hey, game week. Papa, surprise. I'm dating Whit Weeks at this point. Wild stuff, which you know is going to get some first-class attention on Saturday, which brings us to the game itself. At the Grove, Ole Miss. LSU comes in as a slight dog here, Joe. 1.5-point favorite. Ole Miss, total 56.5. How about this one? 3:30 Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and this was one of those games, Donnie, we talked about this week in the spread lines in which, you know, the look ahead was LSU being the road favorite against Ole Miss, and they still opened up as a favorite, a slight 1.5-point favorite, and that line has flipped to Ole Miss. And why not? When you just compare the offenses here, talk about what this kid, the backup Chambliss, has done since Simmons has been hurt. They have not skipped a beat here, Donnie. We expected Lane Kiffin, his teams always, you knew offensively they were always going to be good. But you weren't sure what you were going to get defensively. Well, this is a pretty good team on both sides of the ball at home. And is it me or is this LSU offense maybe not as high-powered as we all thought it was going to be with Nussmeier?
How about Oregon and Penn State here? A whiteout in State College Beaver Stadium. Happy Valley will be rocking and rolling. The line opened up, Joe, -3.5 towards the Nittany Lions. We still sit today on a Friday at -3.5 at just about every outlet. A total of 52.5 to 53.5, depending on where you're shopping at. Does Penn State, who I believe under James Franklin, I want to say was at home, but could this be right? 4-20 against top 10 opponents here? Doesn't look good for Penn State. Can they shake that trend of we never win any big games at Penn State?
Well, they don't, and he doesn't, and we all know it here, which is why when this line opened up at 6, it was quickly back down to where it is now at 3.5. And might it go down a little bit more? It might very well here. But if I'm betting this game, I'm avoiding the spread at all costs here. I'm just betting out who I think can win this game. The problem with Penn State is that who have they played, Donnie? They've played nobody, and they haven't looked great doing it. When in years past, Penn State and Franklin run up the score. I'm a 40-point favorite. Doesn't matter. They haven't done that this year, and that's the problem, Donnie. They just have not looked the part so far, and they haven't been tested. They're going to be tested here in this game against Oregon.
What I've been having fun with on Penn State is, again, they play just slop competition the first 3 weeks. But the one thing you can guarantee is like Singleton and Allen, the two superstar running backs, they each get treated equally, which means you get a touchdown, I get a touchdown. You get a touchdown, I get a touchdown. And you just have to combine these two, Joe, for basically like a -125 price to score, which is crazy, but they've been doing it. If you combine Singleton and Allen this Saturday to score a touchdown apiece and parlay together, it's a +228 price. I'm going to keep rolling there. Forget about the side. Forget about the total. I know one thing is true. These two running backs will be involved at the goal line, and each one will score a touchdown, Joe. What do you think? Rolling the dice again on those two running backs to get in the end zone apiece on Saturday night.
Well, they better because, Drew Allard has not been great, Donnie, at all so far this year against inferior competition here. So this is going to be a test, and this is a big test for both these teams. The season isn't over. Whoever loses it, Donnie, but how they look here is going to go a long way. This is going to be this is a big game for both these teams.
How about this fight song? Go, 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 Alabama. They're going down to Sanford Stadium in Athens on Saturday night. Joe, can you believe this? Look, if you guys have one TV in your house, shame on you. You need 3 of them this weekend. Why? 1 for Oregon, Penn State, 1 for Alabama, Georgia, 1 for in-game live right here on the SportsGrid network so you can watch along and hear all the analysis that you need. Alabama, an underdog by roughly 3 points depending where you're shopping, and a total of 53.5. Give me the Crimson Tide on the road, Joe.
Well, they better, because the schedule after this, Donnie, gets absolutely bonkers. They've got LSU, then Oklahoma. They need to win this game here. And what a game it was a year ago in that 41-34 win with Ryan Williams making that ridiculous catch and move late. And Georgia's been snake bitten over the years against Bama. But again, Nick Saban ain't walking through that door anytime soon. Could this be the Kirby Smart game here?
Oh, Kirby steps all over it, maybe puts that final, because they're waiting on, look, DeBoer, after that debacle, as we like to say, in week number 1 against Florida State, they're waiting to jump on that guy again at Alabama. But if he provides a victory over Georgia, that could calm the waters out there. Let's get to Major League Baseball on a Friday next.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. You're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness.
He's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in.
Right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump, and you can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Your Football Friday just got a little bit better. And what I mean by that is Donnie Rightside, yeah, I'm here. Also, Joe Ranieri, he's always here. But Terry Bowden, we welcome in on a Football Friday because we need help, Coach. What a weekend on deck. I know you're excited about this one.
Yes, it is. I mean, these are undefeated teams that are going to be games that make a difference in who's going to play for that conference championship and maybe who's going to be in the college football playoffs.
No stranger to dominating in the SEC as Coach Bowden did in the 1990s here. LSU, Ole Miss takes center stage from the Grove. A minus 1.5 point favorite for Ole Miss. LSU comes to down as the dog, as we like to say. Coach, what gives in this game between LSU and Ole Miss?
Well, I think that 1.5 represents the home field advantage. But this team, I think this game goes to LSU. When I see a big game, I think who has the veteran quarterback, the experienced quarterback, the battle-tested quarterback, and that goes to Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. The two young guns, whichever one starts, and I think it will be Chambliss, they get into a big game more likely to have a turnover, a mistake, or don't make the right move in that situation. And then LSU defense, especially their run defense, a whole lot better than Ole Miss. Ole Miss giving up 190. LSU, I think, has got it down to about 58. And so I see LSU making it a quarterback game, putting those young quarterbacks. I'm going with LSU.
Coach, there has never been a more losing proposition than backing Penn State against a top 10 team. Does it change now?
Yes, it has to change. James Franklin's legacy, his future depends on it. Now, let me tell you what I think now the 110,000 whiteout, that's kind of big, but I don't know. I've been to Allison Field. That's a pretty tough place to play too. But let me tell you what the thing is. Penn State has played 3 guppies, 3 teams they know they could win. James Franklin has known since February. The first game on his schedule is is Oregon, number 4. He's had all offseason to get ready for this game, and the staff has, and they didn't show much. They were vanilla. They didn't show the Oregon what they want. I think you'll see the best Penn State has to offer. They also brought in Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator from Ohio State. The last loss Oregon had was to Jim Knowles in the game January 1 of last year. So Penn State at home, I give them the victory. In this one, get the slide off his back.
This is what we love, having a coach on with us on a Friday to understand what happens in these big games. Coach, I usually ask you questions about hey, how do you get the kids up for maybe a game where you play a not-so-good opponent this week and your rival the next week? Well, how do you handle game day, 7:30 at night, when you know those kids are so excited and can't wait to play that football game? What's a normal game day for a head coach trying to maybe calm his players down?
There is, you know what, there's not a lot. I mean, coaches, it's awful. I hated night games because you sit around and worry all day long, and your players lay around the hotel room. You hope you can watch a game. You try to distract it and get not to worry too much about the game because you can build some anxiety there by doing that. So the main thing is have enough activities to keep their mind going. Let them watch football games together. Get their mind off of what's got there until they get there. You don't want to play that game at noon. You don't want to play that game at noon when you don't kick off till 6:30. You got to hold off on it until it's time to play.
Is this the game that Kirby Smart gets it done and separates here, or is Alabama and Kalen DeBoer just going to squash Georgia again?
Well, I don't know if they'll squash Alabama. I don't think Alabama's going to squash Georgia. They haven't lost at home, I think, 33 games. Quite a record, second longest in SEC history. You know, Georgia's got the defense, a little better defense than Alabama, and I see that in the fact that they are at home. And I've been there. That's a tough place to play at home. Their quarterback, too, at Georgia is a little more versatile. I think Ty Simpson at Alabama is a smart runner, but he's not a gifted, versatile runner like Joe, the quarterback was last year, Milroe last year, that hurt Georgia. So I think Georgia's got the better defense, especially against the run. I think their quarterback's a little more versatile, and that is a tough place to play. I'm giving it to Georgia again to win this game.
Coach, only a few seconds left here. Florida State takes on Virginia tonight. Next week, the big game on deck. How does Florida State handle Virginia tonight?
Well, it's a trap game. You got to stay focused. But you know, when I look at it, they're averaging 58 points, 560 yards. If they play bad, I'm giving them a 10-point victory, even if they play bad, and even if they may be thinking a little bit about Miami.
How about that? Florida State, Miami on deck. It never stops in college football. That's why we got to bring on Coach Terry Bowden here. And if you want more of Coach Terry Bowden, he's all over the networks, people. Make sure you check out the Bowden Blitz with his co-host Joe Lisi as we get through college football season. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. You're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in.
Right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquil Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. And you can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Brianna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It's late September. It's a football Friday. It's the SportsGrid Network. It's the early line. Yes, we're going to talk more NFL football to set up that Sunday slate. But right now, Team USA, Team Europe, toe-to-toe, Bethpage Black, Joe Ranieri, the people, they want an update. You need to give it to them.
Well, it's kind of interesting, Donnie. Team USA has finally made a little bit of a move here and are leading now, 1-up through 2 holes with Xander Schauffele and Cantley over McIntyre and Hovland. Europe still up, though, with Rory and Fleetwood over Morikawa and English. I didn't like that one at all. And Scotty Scheffler and Henley kind of going the wrong way now. Just lost another hole. Europe is up 2 up through 5 in that one. And, of course, DeChambeau and Thomas also continuing. They are 1 up through 6 holes at this point.
Now, look, I am not a handicapper on the golfing landscape per se. There's a lot of people that do that very well in the network. But I got to tell you, without betting and saying Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood looks like they should be a massive favorite over Harris English and Colin Morikawa. Now, they're only through 4 holes, Joe. I don't know how it changes, but I'm just looking at names going like, yeah, it looks like one that Europeans should be able to handle.
Yeah, you would think. And right now, I'll tell you the big difference is I'm watching the Europeans make some big putts here, and I've watched 4 very makeable putts that would have won the hole for Team USA lift the cup. I mean, just go right around the rim. So the putting right now is the big difference early on for this European team.
Drive for show, putt for dough, people. Get it together. Day number 1 of the Ryder Cup at Bethpage. Should be a sensational weekend here in golf and also in the NFL. Now, we might be looking at, the national game, 425. It's the Ravens taking on the Chiefs. 2 3-0 teams fighting for AFC supremacy. 2 teams looking like they're on life support at this point, both sitting at 1 and 2. This game's going to be played in Arrowhead, but the favorite is not the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the Baltimore Ravens at a -2.5 price point and a total of 48.5. Getting a little bit healthier, the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy expected to play in this game at wide receiver for the Chiefs. But the Baltimore Ravens, they've been scoring points. They've just been giving up way too many points here. What happens on Sunday afternoon, Joe? Ravens, Chiefs.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. I mean, that's a big total as well. And now the second time in 3 in 4 weeks here that the Chiefs have been a dog in Arrowhead, which is not something we're very used to seeing here, Donnie. So it's not great news defensively for the Ravens. We know that. If this thing turns into a shootout, I don't want to be holding an under ticket, Donnie. And this thing might very well turn into a shootout at some point. So I might only be looking at the over in this game and forget about the side.
Yeah, maybe get on track here for Kansas City, who picked up their first win of the season last weekend against the New York Giants. Didn't have to do much because the Giants were terrible on offense. But Kansas City does have a better defense right now than the Baltimore Ravens. Coming into the season, I really like the Ravens, but something has to give. That Baltimore offense is going to move the football. Let's just see if they can be engaged in this game by Patrick Mahomes. You take a look at the touchdown prop scoring market. Of course, it's going to be Derrick Henry at a -170. My question to you is he going to score a touchdown, or is he going to fumble the football in a key moment again?
Yeah, well, that's the big question, right? So Derrick Henry, though, they're going to keep feeding him one way or the other, Donnie. There's no way around it. Andrews is interesting. They finally seem to be back on the same page, him and Lamar. But the problem, Donnie, is that Isaiah Likely, looks like he's going to make his first start of the season as well. So, still like Andrews, though, with that kind of rapport, wouldn't shock me at all if he gets in the end zone.
Yeah, that Undertaker clip coming out of like the casket. That was Mark Andrews last week. Like, I'm back, people. 2 touchdown catches and a lot of usage here. We'll see if that continues, where who has the better tight end in this game? Is it going to be Kelsey or one of the 2 tight ends that we have for the Baltimore Ravens? Moving on, we did spread lines a little bit earlier, Joe, and that included the Washington Commanders and the Atlanta Falcons. Here, slight favorite for Washington on the road. We're waiting to get the final word on is Jaden Daniels going to play in this game. But after the way Atlanta played last week, sometimes they do even need a quarterback to beat the Atlanta Falcons, Joe. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there is already finger pointing going on in Atlanta in the coach's room. Raheem Morris, not exactly the answer like they thought he was going to be coaching this team. Plus you got $180 million backup quarterback on the bench, and you can't throw any touchdowns to wide receivers on this team. So I had said, Donnie, 3-0 to the under Atlanta, 3-0 to the under in the first half, 3-0 to the under in the second half. I'm just going to keep following that trend and look at the under here in this one.
They were so bad, Joe, last week. And we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, where now you're at home. It's like, okay, we're at home. You tell me this. 2 3-and-outs into this football game. Are they chanting, let's go, Kirk Cousins, clap, 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 clap. I mean, tough time here for Raheem Morris. You can't be embarrassed at home. You need to step this one up. Talking about here of doing the embarrassing, that was the Carolina Panthers last week. 30-0 victory. That was one I didn't see coming here, but now they're going to take on the New England Patriots, and the Patriots are a 5.5-point favorite. Christian Gonzalez looks like he's closer to returning. They're all-world cornerback here. I see a nice effort from New England. I'm a betting man. I'm going to take Carolina to get beat by a touchdown or more. Give me those New England Patriots.
Yeah, listen, the Patriots have figured out ways to lose games. It's a very young team here. The fumbling is not good. But I'll tell you what, too. I mean, I think we might have stuck a fork here in Carolina, who the first 5 quarters of the season, Donnie, they were outscored 36-13. Ever since then, they have outscored their opponents 49-17 in the last 7 quarters here. So the confidence is building. They are getting better. And if New England can't hold on to the ball, then you're going to give Carolina an opportunity to win this game.
Let's see if New Orleans can hold on to the football for more than 30 seconds if they take on the Buffalo Bills. Looks like it's a de facto blowout. Why even watch the game, Joe? 15.5-point spread here for the Buffalo Bills. A total of 48.5. You saw last week New Orleans got blown out in Seattle. The expectations are for another blowout, but this is the NFL. It's a week-to-week league, Joe.
And listen, I don't get it, Dottie. I mean, we're not even in October, and we've got a dog of more than 2 touchdowns already. Like, come on. Not to mention, I gave it out in the spread lines that Coach McDermott, as this kind of favorite, double-digit favorite with Buffalo, not good. Only 2-9 against the spread here. There is literally no reason for Buffalo to try to go out of their way and do anything other than just win this game.
Cleveland might have the best defense in football. Detroit might have the best offense in football. They collide at 1 p.m. this Sunday, and the spread close to double digits, if not double digits, depending on where you're shopping at, between the 9.5 and the 10. The total in this game opened up at 46.5. That's also taking a backtrack, Joe. 44.5 at most outlets right now. Great defense, great offense. The question, though, is can Cleveland do enough on offense to win this game? I guess they did last week with 13 points. 13 points ain't going to save you in Detroit this weekend, Joe.
No, and I love the fact that your emergency quarterback is out there telling everybody how all the backup quarterbacks in the NFL are awful and he could be better than next. Like, what are we doing here? Somebody shut him up. In the meantime, though, that defensive coordinator and defense for the Browns and Jim Schwartz, fewest yards overall on the ground this season. They're going to force Detroit and Jared Goff to try to beat them. And don't beat yourselves, Detroit. That's all I'm going to say. Don't beat yourselves.
I'll tell you what I'm interested here, because you need to play keep away from Detroit. Like, Cleveland is not entering into this game going like, Flacco, 50 pass attempts. Let's go toe-to-toe, see what we can do. That's not happening. I'll tell you what I have liked, though, since coming into camp really late. Quinshon Judkins, he's the lead dog there, 57.5 yards. It feels like to me, Joe, the correlation is if Quinshon Judkins gets 60-plus yards, they can probably hang around. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but if he gets 30 yards, Joe, they're getting blown out in this game.
Donnie, look at the spread. The total opened up 46.5. It's down to 44.5.
Yep.
Really? Double digits?
Really? We'll be back after this break talking more NFL action on Sunday. Don't you go anywhere. It's the Grid, baby.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. You're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness.
He's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in,
right? It's more so. Right. Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. And you can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I don't know how they're doing this right now, Joe. And who am I talking about? The San Francisco 49ers, unbeaten on the season, losing more players by the weekend. They're going to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they are a favorite of a -3.5 at home. A total that's listed at 46.5 to 47, depending on where you're shopping at. We're not sure exactly who the quarterback is going to be, but trending towards a return from your starting quarterback. And no, it doesn't mean it's going to be Mac Jones. It's Brock Purdy. How do we play this out? Because I seem like I have an affinity for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this game is going to be close, Joe. Give me the 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jacksonville's defense has really been the story for them thus far, giving that offense an opportunity to win some games. And then you've got, of course, the 49ers battling injury after injury. It does look like Brock Purdy will be back here. And, of course, Mac Jones dealing now with a knee injury. So, again, as long as you have Christian McCaffrey there, you're good to go. But losing Nick Bosa, yikes, that is going to be a tough one. I would grab the hook while it's available, Donnie. We're going to see if Liam Cohen is really the difference maker for Lawrence and company here in Jacksonville this weekend.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this game coming up because I love everything I see. Like, the Rams should have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles, but they didn't. And, you know, it's an East Coast game. Now they're going to fly back and say, we should have beaten the Eagles, our rivals here. We can't get over the hump. But now you have the Indianapolis Colts who come to town unbeaten, where you just can't say, it's the Colts. You know, just sooner or later they'll lose. They're not losing. They're playing great football. The favorite is the Rams at 3.5. The total is 49.5. Is this a game where every week we still wait to believe in the Colts? Or can they actually go into LA and pull this minor upset?
I don't buy it. Although, listen, we've seen nothing but Colt money so far. This one opened up at +4 for Indy. It's now, like you're seeing there, 3.5. And you're talking about a Colts team, Donnie, that still has only punted once with Danny Dimes as their quarterback. But look at who they've played. That is not what they're going to be seeing here with the Rams, who know they lost a game last week that they should have won here. I expect a big effort from the defense of the Rams here, and I think we'll finally start to see a little regression here from Danny Dimes.
Okay. 425, your action still on the West Coast here. The Vegas Raiders and Geno Smith taking on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Bears looked pretty good in that last win against the Dallas Cowboys. Now they take their show on the road. This line opened up, Joe, 2.5 towards Vegas. That's now down to 1 and 1.5, depending where you're shopping up at a total of 47.5. Do the good vibes continue for the Chicago Bears on the road? Or was that one weekend? Yeah, it was the Cowboys. Everybody lights up the Cowboys, Joe.
Two teams that I do not like, don't like the quarterbacks. I just holes everywhere. If I'm betting this game, though, I'm betting it with the Bears up and over to 7.5 and a 6-point teaser if I'm betting anything. But this, to me, is just a ugly game. I am not buying that Ben Johnson has finally figured out the Bears offense with Caleb Williams. I think it's a teaser or a pass for me here.
UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly. And we're going to talk about another ugly football game, Joe. Tennessee and Houston. They're putting people to sleep out here. Cam Ward, CJ Stroud, 7.5 for Houston. Sometimes they're lucky to score even 7.5 in a football game. But a bounce back should be on the way. And look at this total, 38.5. CJ Stroud, you want to start playing? Hey, offense for the Texans. You want to move the football? This is your chance to do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they played the Rams and the Colts the last couple of weeks. The Titans have, and you can clearly see there's some growing pains going on with their rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. They were outclassed. The problem is, what offense here of the Texans are we thinking is somehow going to bulldoze this team in a divisional battle? Absolutely not. Listen, he is broken right now, CJ Stroud. All reports, read the interviews, man. He's like, absolutely not. They can't run the ball, Donnie, at all. And you want me to lay over a touchdown with them? No. If I'm doing anything, I'm bringing the Texans down in a teaser and just hope they score enough points to win by 3. But, yeah, no, can't trust laying a touchdown with a Houston team that can't run the ball.
Some saying Ticketmaster is having problems with this game, Joe, and not because they have sold out tickets they can't distribute. It's because who wants to show up? Monday Night Football, your arch rival comes to town. It's the Jets and the Dolphins. Woof! Hold your nose. A 2.5-point favorite here from Miami as we wait for Justin Fields to be cleared to be the quarterback for the New York Jets. You can't get enough of this game. Is this what they're focused on? Not the opening for the Miami Heat season. Not another season here for the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Not your number 2 in the nation, Miami Hurricanes. It's the Miami Dolphins. Prime time on Monday, Joe.
This is just great. Can't we flex out of a Monday night game in week 4, Donnie?
Why they gave you 2 of them?
Goodness here. Listen, but the reality is, look, Dawson covered last week against the Bills, 11.5-point favorite. The Jets ended up getting their cover. So it doesn't matter who wins, it's who covers here. I'm not sold that Fields will be back. I think Tyrod will have another shot here. And call me crazy. The Jets are the side here. I do not believe that they are losing to Miami in this spot here. We've got one organization with a game plan and a new culture, and we've got one that is, well, I don't know, one game away from being absolutely blown up and start from scratch. I'll put my money on the Jets in this one.
The mini buy for Miami, though, Joe. Waddle's last stand out there, Tua Tagovailoa. Hey, we covered against the Bills. Like, you're hanging that moral victory up here. I'll tell you, you got no moral victory last week for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ooh. What was that? Jake Browning going to save the season. Jake Browning might not be your quarterback next week, how bad he was last week and how bad the rest of that team was. Favorite for the Broncos, the doubleheader on Monday Night Football. This is game number 2, Joe. 7.5-point favorite for those Denver Broncos and a total of 43.5. You're not supposed to be as bad as you were last week for the Bengals, but is anybody rushing in saying, this is the week they show up, Joe?
No, I am not. And Denver just continues to figure out ways to lose games here. Another good teaser opportunity with the home team. Get them down to 1.5, Donnie. And I think you should back an early game in a teaser with this Denver game in a teaser, and you should be good to go.
Should be good to go. I'll tell you, it's not good to go right now. Team USA out there now all square with Justin Thomas and Bryson DeChambeau against Hatton and Rahm. 3 down they are to Fitzpatrick and Oberg, and also 3 down they are to Rory and Tommy Fleetwood. Is this way? Hey, we're not team players in the U.S. We're just not. But I'll tell you where we are team players right here on the early line. Teaming up to give you winners and best bets in the next segment here. We're going to do it.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 circuit sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. That's you're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness.
He's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in.
Right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquel Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. You can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
What a week. What a time to be alive. What a football season. What a Ryder Cup. Maybe if you're Team Europe right now, look like they're going to roll away with day number 1, which probably was expected here. But, Joe, we put in the work this week. Everything's up for grabs. We are rolling on our bye-bye bets, which we'll get to in just a few moments. But this part of the show this is the people's part here. We reach out to the public and ask them a simple question, and we like to see where they went on our Fade the Public poll. At SportsGrid on X, we asked the question, what college football Week 5 matchup are you most excited for? And we gave you three options: Alabama UGA, LSU Ole Miss, Oregon versus Penn State. For me, Joe, I voted Oregon and Penn State, and it looks like I'm backing the public at over 48% right now. Oregon PSU, give me that injected into my veins.
Yeah, I kind of like that, but that's good. You can't lose with any of these games, Donnie. But to me,
no, you can't.
I think the Alabama-Georgia game has more juice, just for the simple fact that if Bama loses this game, and having lost already to Florida State, the season's over for Alabama, and likely it's over for Kalen DeBoer. So I think that game is a little bit more intriguing to me, because Penn State, Oregon, whoever wins, whoever loses, the season's not over for them. The season is over for Bama if they lose this game.
I like it, man. I can't wait. It's finally a football weekend you can sink your teeth into, and make sure you join us tomorrow right here on the Sports Grid Network. College football today. Yours truly, Donnie Rightside, and another Joe Lisi, will be my counterpart, taking up the kickoff on a monster college football day. But the people have waited, Joe. Sometimes they wait in line 2 hours for this. Sometimes they need a ticket to get into the door, because bye is now here. Friday is payday, baby. Let's give them some more winners, Joe. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go tonight here. I'm going to go with the Florida State-Virginia game in college football. And forget about picking a side, because, yes, this is the ultimate trap of trap games here on the card, with Florida State now ranked. And, of course, they know who they're playing next week. Number 2, Miami, which is going to be huge in the ACC. But they still got to play this game against Virginia. The number is 7, but to me, it's the total in this game. And yes, this Virginia defense is horrific. They can't stop a nosebleed. Offensively, with Chandler Morris, the former North Texas QB, they can light teams up here, and they have been averaging 45.5 points a game here. And now, we don't know how good this Florida State defense is, because they haven't really played anybody since a month ago with Alabama. So could Florida State's defense be looking ahead? Yes. Could we be getting points on both sides? Absolutely yes to me. I think this is going to be a wild one here. I think 40 points is going to win it. I think we get way more than 59.5. I'm taking the over tonight in this one.
Florida State versus the University of Miami next week. Get those points piled up tonight, and we'll sink our teeth into a huge, huge battle in the state of Florida for maybe the Miami Hurricanes going to be official state champions after that game here. For me, Joe, and what we like to do on Bye, we keep it simple. We don't overestimate. We don't overanalyze here, and that's why we're winning every single night, it feels like. For me, I'm going to go Major League Baseball tonight. And you know what? I'm going to go late night. 10:15 start on the West Coast. Colorado and San Francisco. Don't outsmart yourself. Look at the price point for San Francisco, minus 230. They're probably going to win this game. The total is 8, which means the majority of the runs will come from San Francisco. Why? Colorado's bullpen stinks, and German Marquez is on the mound. San Francisco Giants for me. Team total over 4.5 at a minus 118 price. Sounds like a good deal for me. College football and Major League Baseball. Bye. Best bets 2-0 on a Friday. Sounds good, Joe.
Yeah, listen, take advantage of those Marquez starts while you can here. We're running out of opportunities to cash tickets on him. So it's the last one, Donnie, of the season, and I'm all for it. Take advantage while you can, man.
How about this? For months on end on the early line, we got to handicap a full card of Major League Baseball each and every day. That goes away on Monday. Limited opportunities, but the stakes get higher. Baseball playoffs will be here, and the month of October will start next week here. We got a huge weekend in college football. We got you ready for it. A huge weekend here in the NFL. We got you ready for that. And maybe it's a huge weekend here for Team Europe as they look to get out to an early lead in the Ryder Cup against Team USA. Let's go, Team USA! Thank you for joining the show this weekend. Thank you for watching the show this weekend. Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranieri for the early line. We'll be back bright and early on Monday to recap everything that happened this past weekend.